Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. Let me start off today by saying happy Father's Day to all of the fathers that are out there that are perhaps joining us now or even later. Surely hope that this is destined to be the best Father's Day that you've ever had. Second thing is, we apologize for being MIA over the last couple of weeks. Had a lot going on. This has been a eventful month already, the first couple of weeks. So our apologies for missing in action. And then thirdly, we apologize for starting late today, but hopefully you guys, for those of you, you guys will be able to look at some things later on, go back and catch us on YouTube, or just get this as you finish up. I know some of you are out celebrating, eating dinner with your dad. So I get it. I just wanted to drop a line, let you know that we ain't going nowhere and that we are still live and kicking with live with SFC Define. So we are past the midway mark, or today marks the midway mark of this month. That means we are 6 months into the year, and this year is flying by. So I want to talk about something that we may have touched on in the past, but I think it's pertinent now that we just reiterate, reemphasize, and if we haven't talked about it in the past, just bring it to the forefront. And that is talking about suggestions and the power that they have to manipulate your life in a good way or even in a bad way. I really want to focus on how they can negatively impact your life because so many of us fall prey to it. I want you to think for a minute as you watch TV, as you watch social media, and particularly the news, and think about how our news channels, they employ the power of suggestion all the time, and we buy into it. You know, the power of suggestion is one tool that is used to ignite fear. And that's how the media gets you to buy in certain things, whether it's for medication, for protection, for direction, for whatever the case may be. You've got these media moguls who have tapped in and strategically and methodically learned how to use suggestions as a tool to manipulate our lives. So I really want you to think about that. When you're reading something, you're hearing something, the thing about a suggestion is that's all it is. It's just a suggestion. But when it becomes an issue or when it becomes a tool that manipulates your life is when you buy into it or you start believing that suggestion. There are two types of suggestions. There's a hetero suggestion, and that comes from people outside of you, anybody, whether you're reading it, hearing it, or having people just talk to you in conversation. That's hetero suggestion. And then there is auto suggestion. So I want to talk about heterosuggestion because I feel that autosuggestion is extremely dangerous to us. We are a more detriment or more danger to ourselves than what most people have the capability and the power of being to us. So we're going to talk today about heterosuggestion. And since we only have one more week in the month of June, we're going to talk about autosuggestion next week. Heterosuggestion, like I said, it comes from the outside of you. It comes from the television, the radio, the internet. It comes from people that you meet in the street, people that you meet in the grocery stores and anywhere. Say, for example, if somebody said to you, oh, that outfit that you're wearing looks horrible, and you literally thought that it was a well put together outfit, what they did was literally suggested to you a change in thought. So now, if you make it a truth to you, you will never wear that outfit again, because they had the power to tell you that what you put together looked horrible. That was their opinion. And when you buy into it and you start thinking, yeah, it is horrible, I shouldn't have put this together, I shouldn't have put it together, yada, yada, then what happens is you literally change the way you think, not just about that outfit, but then about yourself. Do I have the ability to be that fashion mogul that I think I am? Do I have the ability to put two and two together to come out with a nice outfit? You start questioning yourself. And that's literally the power that comes behind a negative suggestion to you. When you buy into it, it becomes a belief of yours. And it is no different. Think about it in every aspect. It is thinking about it in people, what they say about what you eat, the way you look, what you think, how you raise your children, how you whatever. The power of suggestion is so powerful that it has the ability to change the way we think, not just about ourselves, but about the way we think and see the world. Think about how think about the pandemic that we just came through. You got one news station talking about how um, the pandemic is at its all-time high. It's peaking again, and now you need to get the shot. You're gonna die if you don't get the shot. You're gonna die if you don't do this. You're gonna die, and we buy into that. And the moment we start believing that, that's what creates that path of death, if you will. But at the same time, if somebody says, you know what, the pandemic is subsiding, it's getting good, people are getting, but they're not getting really sick like they were in the beginning. They're not really uh, falling, having to go to the hospital or whatever. And you buy into that and you're like, oh, wow, okay, so that's almost like the common cold. We're good. Now we're good. And you buy into that, then you don't look for that sickness or that whatever. So it is the power of suggestion that helps manipulate your way of thinking. Um, and that goes with anything. You think about when I think it was Russia and Ukraine started that. They were talking about gas prices and how the gas prices were going to spike. So everybody rushes to the gas station. Everybody does it. That's how they make their money. That's how they do that thing, because it's merely just the power of suggestion. When you start buying into that and you buy into those things, that's when it becomes real to you. That's when sickness set in. That's when lack and poverty set in, because you buy into it and you make it your truth. Okay, so that's the power of suggestion, heterosuggestion, when it comes from the outside of you. And it's that simple. It is that powerful and that simple. So you have to make sure that when you are listening to other people, whether it's on TV or whether it's on whatever, when you let it go into your ear, you have the opportunity to filter it. Once you filter, you to determine whether or not you're going to buy into it. Once you buy into it, once you buy into it, you start embracing it. And once it becomes a truth to you, if you believe it, then it becomes a belief. That means you change your whole life. Your whole trajectory of life begins to change. Hey, Christopher, thank y'all for joining me today. So be careful when you hear people and listen to people, because people, based on where you have categorized them in your life, that's the strength of their suggestion to you. So somebody that's just in passing, they say, a lot of you can just brush it off. I don't care what you say. I know I look good today, whatever, whatever. But then there's somebody, if that right person says it, then it's really going to mess with your psyche. So that is the power of heterosuggestion, those suggestions that are coming from the outside of you. Do your homework, find out who you are, and don't let people manipulate you into thinking that you're not something, or you can't be something, or can't do something. Okay, so I want you to make sure that these suggestions that come into your ear, you use that filtering power. That's called discernment. That filter is simply called discernment. You take it, and if you don't want to make it your truth, guess what? You don't have to. If you don't want to turn that into your belief, guess what? You don't have to. The reality of it is everything is merely a suggestion, even when you're suggesting things to yourself. And that's what we're going to get into next week, is auto suggestion. Okay. So I really want you to be mindful. I think it's so important that we realize that people manipulate us and we don't even realize that we're being manipulated oftentimes. And just make sure that you listen to those things that are coming into your mind, and particularly pay attention to those things that you start letting play over and over and over and over in your mind, because they start looping and start making that, and you think about it all the time, guess what? You're going to start believing it. And then that's when it becomes your truth. Oh, you're going to get sick today. Oh man, I feel a sniffle. I'm going to get sick today. I'm going to get sick today. I'm going to get sick today. That was just a suggestion, merely a suggestion. Are you going to get sick today? That is up to you. So, and suggestions have so much power, and just be mindful of those suggestions that you embrace and adopt as a truth for you. Because once you do, your entire life begins to change. Okay. So be mindful. Thank you guys. That was quick summation or dissertation, if you will, of what suggestions look like. We'll talk more about that. We'll sort of touch on it next week, and then we'll bring in auto suggestion, which are even more dangerous or more helpful than hetero suggestions. Okay, you guys go and enjoy your families, enjoy your dads and your father figures. Have a great rest of the day, a great rest of it's dinner time. Let's go get something to eat. Talk to you soon. Bye.